Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Jazz Land, where I am all about decor and landscaping and yes, some shopping in Second Life. So this is a Let's Learn. We're going to do a tutorial. I haven't done one of these in a minute, but I've had a couple questions lately on some of my other videos about being able to link objects in order to save land impact. Because land impact becomes precious when you're decorating and you start to run out of room. So we are going to run through a few things. I want to show you some things all about linking, soft linking. I'm also going to show you some mistakes to avoid that I have made and learned from. All right, so let's see. Oop. Okay, here we go. So first of all, let's go to the World tab and let's look at the parcel details. So when you have a parcel of land, if you go to objects, then you will see that there's a region capacity for the entire region and how much is used out of the entire region. So land capacity 23,994. Parcel and land impact is 21,293. So at this point on this parcel, I still have, or this area that we're doing the DDC land on, I still have 2,437 prims available. Now, this is the Decor Diva collab project that I do with Kendra over at the Kendra Project, which her YouTube channel, we like to get together every now and then and we do a big project together. So I will link down in the show notes DDC season 1, and currently we're doing this desert land, which is DDC season 2, if you want to check that out and see what we've been up to. But I'm going to take one of these cabins that was decorated and I'm going to show you how to link things to make the number of prims, we call them prims sometimes, or land impact, go up. All right, the first thing I want to do is tell you the difference between a prim and land impact, because a lot of times people will use those two words interchangeably, or those two terms, and a lot of times it would confuse me. So I have resed a prim right there, and if you look under the general tab, it says one object, which is this prim, and the land impact of this object is 1. So I've got a prim here. I'm going to copy it, and its land impact is 1. If I click on this one, it's going to be the same thing. So let me copy a few of these. So these are 4 different prims, each with 1 land impact. When you link something, you can see how they move separate. Well, if I link all 4 of these, I'm going to select this one and I'm going to hold the shift key and click on that one. See how they're both highlighted? Still holding the shift key, click on the 3rd one, and still holding the shift key, click on the 4th one. Now I can move them in a group. But if I want to link them together so they stay put like that, I can come over here to this edit box and see where it says link. If I click link, I had 4 objects. Now I have 1 object, but the overall land impact is 4. So this is now linked together like it's only 1 object, but it has a land impact of 4, even though it's 1 object. Okay, so when I linked it, it just made 1, 1, 1, and 1 equal 4. Now, it's not always that simple because technically I can unlink these. See how they're all selected? I can click unlink and it'll say, do you really want to unlink it? And I say yes. And now if I hold shift and click, I'm back to 1 object with 1 land impact. 1 object, 1 land impact, right? And they're all separate. That's the basic idea of linking. Okay, so I'm going to delete those. Now, when you're trying to link decor because you want to save on land impact and make the land impact go down so you can put out more stuff. It's not as easy and simple as, oh, let me just link everything together. Okay. So here's some of the things you want to avoid when you're linking objects. If you have objects, which is usually furniture, that have animations where you can sit in it and there's animations, those objects you do not want to link. Okay. Because if you do link them, oh, look at all this stuff I can get. If you do link them, then it'll break the animations and it won't work anymore. So anything that has animations where you sit in it and have a blue menu and you can change your positions in it, you do not want to link those the way I just showed you with those 4 boxes. Oh gosh, y'all, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Jump, Jazz, jump. There we go. So that's one of the things. Don't ever link together things that are animated, which is usually going to be furniture. All right. Now, those 4 prims that I showed you with the 4 boxes that only had a land impact of 4, if I take one of those prims and I add scripts and I add physics to it and different things like that, I could still have that one box, but the land impact could go up on it, even though it's still the same box, because I've changed all the different attributes of it. And basically the land impact is different from a prim count, because land impact is going to take into account how long it takes the viewer to actually load everything and res it. It's where you can see it. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Because I used to think, well, if it's only one prim, then why would it be more land impact? It's because of all of the physics and the scripts and all that kind of stuff. And it has to do with all this techie stuff that I really don't understand. So you will hear people say land impact or prims. But most of the time they say, how many prims are on the land? Oh, I got to save some prims. They're really talking about land impact. But prims is shorter and easier to say, in my opinion. All right. So I do need to link some things around here, because I haven't linked anything. Now, the other thing about linking objects, if it doesn't have animations, like that's a chair with animations, I'm not going to link it. That's a couch with animations, not going to link that. This is a bed with animations, not going to link it because it'll break it. This chair has animations in it because I can sit there and it'll bring up a menu. So I'm not going to link that either. The desk, see, no place to sit. So the desk does not have any animations. I could link that. I could link the light. I can link this little thing here because you can't sit on, well, I don't think you can sit on it. Oh my gosh, it has animations. I'm glad I looked at that. We're not going to link this because if I do, it's going to break those animations and I won't be able to sit on it anymore. All right. The way that I link objects, because sometimes you select them and you hit the link button and it doesn't always make the land impact less. Sometimes it might go up 1 or 2. Sometimes it stays exactly the same. Sometimes it goes down 1 or 2. It's kind of a gamble. So let's see, this lamp turns off and on. It has a script in it, but it doesn't have positioning scripts for like an AV sitter type thing. So I probably will link this lamp. All right, let's see. Let's start over here. None of this has animations in it, but they're all separate pieces. That's a piece. That's a piece. That's a piece. And then this whole part is linked together. So this section that's linked is 11 land impact, but it counts as one object. So this is 11. I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to select that little planter and add to it. Now it's 12 land impact. I'm going to link or select this phone. Now it's 18 land impact altogether. And then I'm going to shift and select that little plant. It's 21. I'm also going to select the little skate over here. Now we're up to 22. I'm going to hold shift and select the plant. We're up to 25. So all this selection in this corner is 25 land impact. Now, once I link this, it could go down, that number. It could go up a little bit. Or it could stay the same. So let's see what happens. I'm going to click link. And it went from 25 to 23. So now I have just freed up 2 land impact. And I know that doesn't seem like much, but when you have a whole lot of objects out, it can really add up. I know when I was decorating my Linden home, see now it all moves this one object. When I was decorating my Linden home, I saved a whole lot of land impact just by linking objects. Now, what I normally do is try to link things in big groups in case I want to take it in my inventory or take a copy of it, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's say I link that, it's 23. Let's say I want to link this rug to it. So I hold shift and I click on it. Now we're at 24. What's over here? Let's say I want to add this lamp. So I shift and click. That said 52. Is it already linked to something? Holy schmoly. Okay, what if you select something and you're like, wait a minute, I don't know what just happened. Hit shift or hold shift and click on it again. Now we're at 24. So let me just click on the lamp. Y'all, this lamp is 28 land impact by itself. If you were decorating a Linden home, this would be a no. Because you only have 351 prims or land impact to mess with. Wow. But since we have so much, I'm going to go ahead and leave it here and link it. All right, so I'm going to link that. I'm going to link the rug. I'm going to click on this group of objects I've already linked. I am going to click on the guitar. I'm holding the shift key. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on that. Because I've already, decorated this and I want to take as much as I can. I'm going to click on the lamp. See, we're up to 68. I'm going to click on that little planter, 72. I'm going to click on this, 77. And I'm only doing this because I know what's going to happen. You may not want to click on as many things at once. 91. Click on that. Click on this. I'm up to 93 land impact so far. I'm holding the shift key. Let's get the plants. I'm up to 100 land impact. Remember, I will not click on anything that is animated for an AV sitter. All right, let's look over here. Hold shift. I'm going to add that. That's 103. I'm going to add this, 106. Add this, 111. Let's do our plants right here. Hold shift, 116. Shift, 124. I know this down here is not animated. So I'm going to click this. We're up to 126. I'm going to get this planter, 129. This planter, 133. The desk is not animated, so I'm going to click on it. 138. This picture, 140. Remember, I just clicked on that and you can sit on it. So we don't want that because I'll break it if I link it. And then let's do our lights. Here we go. So I'm going to click on that. And make sure it's highlighting what you want. Because if I click this, it's going to end up selecting the cabin. And then I'm going to select this light. Shift, click. Now let's say I didn't want the lights. And I'm like, oh crap, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to go back and have to reselect all of this. So if you'll hold shift and click on like one of these lights, it unselected the one light, but I'm still holding the shift key. Okay, so that's another little trick, but I am going to select the light because I do want that. Do I have another one in here? Ah, there's another one. So I'm going to hold down the shift key, click on it. If I wanted to unselect something, hold the shift key and click on the thing I don't want in there. See that? I deselect. So that's a nifty thing because I used to unselect. I'd select the one thing, I'd be like, man, and I'd start all over again, and it's not necessary. So there's a little tip. All right, I think we have everything. I'm not going to link any of this stuff because it's all one set, and I don't want it to break. All right. One of the tricks that I have learned to make sure that you have only grabbed things that you actually want to link is if, see these arrows? If I move this, it's going to move all the stuff that I'm trying to link together. See that? And to put it back, I can do this, but it won't go in the same exact place it was. So if I hold control, the control key, and I hit Z, it puts it all right back down where it was. It's like the undo feature, right? So that's another trick I use to make sure I've grabbed everything I want and only the things I want. All right, so right now we are sitting at 146 land impact for everything that I have selected. Now I'm going to link all of this together again because nothing that I chose has animations. I'm not going to break anything. So let's hit the link button and see if we go from 146 to a lower number. Again, it could go higher. That's the thing. You never know. So it's kind of a gamble what you're going to do. You can always link smaller groups of things and then take those and link them together if you think it'll work. All right, ready? So I'm going to link them. I went from 146 land impact to 104 land impact. I have just saved myself 42 land impact, or 42 prims as we like to say. So by linking, I have just freed up another 42 land impact that I could put 42 land impact more worth of stuff. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. All right. So now I've done that. So when I click on this object, any of them, and I right click and I choose edit, it's going to give me that entire thing again. You see that? It's all one piece. Now let's say that I have this, but I really want to move this TV, but I can't now because I've linked it all. So if you want to move one piece of it or move a couple pieces, you go in here and you click on edit linked like that. Click on the piece you want to edit. Let me show you this from a distance. See how all the stuff that's linked is highlighted? So I edit linked and I just want to move the TV. So I'm going to click on the TV. Do you see how it's still a blue highlight? It means the TV is still linked to everything, but I'm just going to edit this one part. So I can move the TV over here and turn it. Uh-oh. There it is. Do y'all see this? Guess what that is? It's part of the TV plants. So here's the danger with edit linked. And I'm going to show you this on a different example. So I don't need to freak out because I could do the undo command for the moves I just made. So let's hit Control Z. So that turns it. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo it again. And that did it. So now it's back where it was and it's all still there. So that was a bad example. Let me do this one. Is this plant in pieces? That plant's in pieces too. Y'all, let me just find something that's not in a bunch of pieces so I can show you what I'm trying to show you. Here we go. I bet you this is in pieces. Is this in pieces? Edit linked. Look, this is in pieces. You see the flowers? They're off the stems. Control Z, Control Z. I'm trying to get something that's just one piece. This is not one piece either. Y'all, how about this? Is this one piece? Nope. Look, that's multiple pieces. So as you can see, when you do edit linked and you try to move something, it may not work the way you think it should. Is this, please tell me that's one piece. It's got a shadow. Okay. I'll show you what's going on in a second. Now, this is what I can do. I'm still in edit linked. I can grab the television, but you see how this part isn't highlighted in blue and I left it behind before? I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to click that. Now I have all the pieces of the television. No, I don't. Look at that. This is the problem. Now I've got that. And it's like, well, golly, what am I going to do? This is the problem with linking, and this is one of those things. Make sure before you link everything that it's where you want it. Because you can move it, and I have moved stuff. Like if I want to move this succulent, Let's do edit link. This one doesn't have as many pieces. I just click until it's all selected. Is that it? No, look, there's the bottom of the pot. I'd have to select that too. Ugh, this is a pain. But that's one of the things I wanted to show you guys. When you edit linked, a lot of these objects are in places. But you know what else will happen? If I unlink these, and I'm like, you know what? I have all this stuff as one. And let's say I want to unlink the TV. If I click edit linked and I click the TV and I hit unlink, it's still going to leave these leaves behind. And it unlinks everything, and I'd have to move it all. Plus, the land impact will go up of just the TV because now it's in 3 separate parts and not together. I hope that makes sense, y'all. I really do. You may be confused, but I'm going to do some more, just so you know. Let's come over here to this platform, if I can get to it. All right. So, here's another example. These plants, this plant right here, see, it's 3 land impact, right? This plant is 2 land impact. This little set of bushes is 1 land impact. But here's the deal. Oh my goodness, excuse me. Here's the deal. If I unlink this, well, no, let me do it this way. Let's say I was linking all these together. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna link all these pieces together and I'm gonna save some land impact. Right now it's 6. Let's link it and see what happens. It went to 7, so it went up 1. So I didn't save myself any. But let's say I'm like, oh my gosh, it went up 1. Well, let me unlink it. This is what happens. I click unlink. Do you want to unlink it? Yes. So now, if I click off of it, now what happens is it was linked. Now it's unlinked. I'm like, okay, let me move this. And I do this. Do you see what just happened? When I unlinked it, I unlinked every single piece of everything. So now I would have to move all of these little things, or else delete it all and re-res them. Find them again and re-res them. Case in point, this is 1 land impact. This piece is 1 land impact. This piece is 1 land impact. And then the trunk is 2. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, this 1 bush was only 3 land impact. What if I try to link it back? It goes back to 3. There it is. So I just want you to understand how it works, because you can link things to save land impact. We went from 146 to 104, which was good when I linked all that stuff. But as you saw, when I tried to move it and edit linked and move only part of it, it was in pieces. So keep that in mind when you're linking stuff, okay? I usually make sure that it's definitely where I want it before I start linking things. I wait till I'm at the end of a project. I'm like, okay, this is where I want stuff. I'm probably not going to move again. I'm going to link it. If I have any doubt that I might want to unlink it, I leave it alone. Here's the other thing, mithril plants. I love my mithril plants, y'all. This is 5 land impact. This one is 5. So you think, okay, well, when I link them together, maybe it'll go down in prims. So you'd expect under 10, right? So let's link it and find out. It made them 11. It made them 11. Let's say I want to link it. I'll say, okay, I want to link it to this and this and this and this. That's 15 land impact. I link it together. It went down to 13. So now all of this is linked together. But let's say I look at it, I'm like, you know what? I think I want this plant further away. So I go in and I click edit linked. I'm like, I want this plant to move. So I click on it, edit linked, and I move it. Do you see what just happened? This plant is in so many different pieces to make it look that way. I left behind a shadow. Look, there's another piece. There's another piece. Here's another piece. So I just want you guys to be aware that some items are going to be in a lot of different pieces. And once you link it, when you try to unlink it or edit linked, you might have a mess on your hands. Now, I didn't unlink it, so if I do this, see how it's still all in pieces? But if I right click and edit, it's all still one piece. But I don't want to have to put all that back together and line it up, right? So let's say, okay, I don't want all this linked. Let me unlink it and try to fix it. It's 13 landed pack now. I unlink it. It's now 24 because it's broken it down into all those individual pieces. So it's still, and look, it took this one apart. Look at that. If I try to move this now that I've unlinked it, look at this. Look, that one. Look how many pieces this plant is in. There's a shadow. Oh no, that's this. Oh, there's a shadow right there. So do you see what happens? So please, before you start linking a bunch of stuff and thinking, oh, if it goes up, I'll just unlink it. I don't, that's a mistake. Okay. And it can be very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Because you end up with something like this and you're like pulling your hair out. How do I know? Ask me how I know. Because I've done it. I've done it. This is the only reason I'm teaching you now. It's trying to help you avoid those frustrating moments that I've had. All right. So let's go up here. Back into this house. Usually what I do with decor projects, if I want to keep them, is I will link things and I will take a copy of them. Okay. And I'll take it back into my inventory. So let me show you real quick what that looks like. I can right click on this. And that's everything I linked before to give 104, right? Let's say I want to take a copy of the furniture too. Like I want a copy of all of this that's in the cabin. So what I'm going to do, because every item in here is copyable, so I know this will work. I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to click on my table and chairs. You can tell if it's selected because it's highlighted. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on this. Okay, everything's highlighted. Let's go into the house or into the cabin. Get through the window. There we go. I'm going to shift and add the chair to it. Shift and add the couch to it. And then the only other two things should be the bed. So I'm going to shift and click to add the bed. And I'm going to shift and click to add the chair. Oh, one more. Shift and click to add the stool. So at this point, I have selected everything in the cabin. 163 land impact. And I want to take a copy of it. So this is what I'll do. Do you see my arrows? If you hold down shift, and while I'm holding shift, I'm going to grab that blue arrow and I'm just going to drag. Oh, the desk chair. It's not copyable. All right, Control Z. See that up there? Hide a key desk chair is not copyable. So let me do this since I can't use it with that. I don't want to unselect everything because I don't want to start over. So I'm going to hold my shift key and I'm going to click the desk chair because that's the only thing it won't let me copy supposedly. So let's see if that worked. Now I have everything except the desk chair. I'm going to hold down. Let me back up more so you can see it. I'm going to hold down the shift key. I'm going to click on the blue part of the arrow and I'm just going to drag my mouse up. Oh my gosh, the sofa is not, it won't let me copy it. It must have scripts in it that aren't copyable. I'm not going to edit this stuff out because y'all need to see what happens while I'm doing this because it'll help you eventually. So I'm going to hold shift. I bet you it won't let me copy it now either. How much you want to bet? Actually, let's deselect the hide a key stuff. I'm sorry, hide a key. I call it hide a key. Let me unselect this to shift and click. Now, I should still be able to copy the bed. Okay, that should be it. So let's see if we can copy it now. Ready? I'm going to hold down shift. I'm going to drag my blue arrow up. There it is. And I let go. Now, if I click on anywhere else, it's going to let go of all of this. I don't want to let go of it yet because I need to move it all. I'm going to move it so y'all can see it. Well, no, I'm not. It looks better right here. So there's an entire copy of that cabin without, there's 4 things missing. The desk chair, the little stool that was over here, the couch is missing, and the chair is missing because I couldn't copy them. All right. So now I have this entire selection. And see how it says the name is multiple selection? Let's see if I can change the name. I should be able to. We're going to say Pink Hide-a-Key Cabin. And that's the DDC land. So I'm going to rename this group of items that way. Then I'm going to right click on it. Do you see where it says take? I'm going to take it in my inventory. There, it all disappeared. So where did it go? So I'm going to open my inventory. This is everything in my inventory. So let's go to the recent tab, because I recently took that in there. Let's go to objects. Do you see that? Pink Hide-a-Key Cabin, DDC. So let's say eventually I want to res this cabin out and put all the stuff back in it, minus the 4 things I couldn't copy. Let me find a platform. I know we have one. There we go. So let's say I want to res all this stuff back out. I'm going to open a build box like that. I'm going to click on the arrow, and I'll show you why this is important in just a second. Then I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag this whole group of items and let go. Now it's going to take it a little bit to res because that was a lot of stuff. So now we have to sit here and wait. I don't have Jeopardy music or I would play it for you. We have to wait for it all to res. I may need to pause this video. Let me pause the video. Well, I don't really want to pause it. You won't see it come up, but I'm going to pause it until it appears. All right. It all appeared right here. Let me zoom in. Now, if I click somewhere, I'm going to lose these arrows, and I don't want to. I want to be able to move it as a group. Then I can position it anywhere I want to, right? So I can move it as a group as long as I have a build box open, and then I drag it from here over, and I wait for it to res, and I don't touch anything. I can move this in a group, which is going to make it so much easier. If I had a cabin out, I could just place it, right? All right, let me delete this, and I'm going to show you what happens if you don't have a build box open. Let's say I'm like, oh, I want to res this out, so I just drag it without opening a build box. I may have to pause it again. Oh, no, there it is. All right, you see it? So now I've resed it, and I'm like, oh, let me move it into the cabin. So I right click and I start moving stuff. But what happens is I can't move everything as a group. I can move this as a group because that's the stuff I linked to get to 104 land impact, remember? But then anything else that I couldn't like link to this because I didn't want it to break, I'll have to move it separately. So that's another trick. If you want to be able to res out a group of items and move it all as one piece, make sure you open the build box first, click on the arrow, and then res this out. Let me see if I can get it res. It should res faster now. Open the build box, res this out, let go, and just wait. The more objects you have, the longer it takes to res. There we go. So now I'm holding Control Alt. You could use your little arrows over here on your camera if you wanted to. But see, it's still all attached. So now with the build box open, see, it moves everything, including the bed and the table and chairs. So if you want to res a group, we call this soft linked. It's soft linked because the bed and the table and chairs are not linked with this other group. So when I took it, I quote soft linked it, is what they call it. All right. But now, since everything in here is copyable, I can res this out as many times as I want to and slap it in a cabin. It's already there to go. I don't have to reposition it, none of it. The only thing I have to do is res out the couch, the chair, the desk chair, and that little stuff that I had over here. And the cabin's done in a matter of minutes, right? So that's how you can do soft linking and taking a copy and then renaming it and taking it into your inventory. So I wanted to show you guys that too. I know that was might have been pretty scattered. If there's part of that you didn't catch and you have to watch this several times, if you still have questions, then just put it in the comments and I'll try to answer. But that's just a very nifty trick that I've learned, or some tricks I've learned in this whole adventure on Decor. Remember, linking and then unlinking could leave you with stuff like this, which we don't want, right? So we'll be careful of that. All right, let's go. I'm gonna link some more objects one more time. Let's go down to this cabin because I need to link stuff in here. All right, anything that has animated sits, we cannot link, remember? So these chairs, they have animated sits. I can't link them. This bird feeder, it's got little animated birds, so I'm not going to link them either. This guitar, look at that. You see the different flowers? Control Z. So that's a bunch of different pieces that I would have to do. All right, let's go inside. Y'all, there's a mosquito flying in front of my screen. I'm about to hit the screen. All right, this couch has sits, so I'm not going to link it. This carpet has sits, not going to link it. This bed has sits animations in it, not going to link that. But everything else in here, I can link together. And then I'll take a copy of it to show you. Okay? All right, so let's go. Actually, I can link that rug. I can link that. We're at 7 land impact. Right now we're just selecting. I'm holding the shift key and selecting. Shift, select. We're up to 17 land impact. Shift, select the lamp. 19 land impact. Shift, select. 21, select. 22, select. 24. Again, I'm just holding down the shift key. The lamp, 26, 27, 28. Okay, shift and click. 29, 30, 31, 33. So that was 2 land impact, right? Let's go over here and do all this. Shift and click. 35, 37, 39, 40, 42, 43, 44. Oh, let's do the rug. 47. Let's get the plants over here. 51, 56. Let's get these plants. Shift. 61, 65. Okay, what else do we need to grab? This divider. Let's grab the divider. Let's shift and click. 74, shift and click. 83. I've got this up here. Shift and click. 97. Up this plant right here. Shift and click. 102. This one is going to be a little tricky, huh? Oh, let's do these lights. They're easy. Shift and click. 103. 104. 105. All right, now shift and click on the guitar. That's 106. These flowers, that's 107. Those flowers, that's 108. Now, if I zoom out, there's my arrows for this entire grouping. Now what I can do is I can just raise it up with my mouse. Make sure I have what I want. Yep, the only things left are things with animations or sits in them. So I'm going to hit Control Z. It puts everything back. Now let's link them. Again, you don't have to link huge things like this. I could link like just the dresser with the clutter and make that one linked object, right? But because I've done this and for demonstration purposes, we're going to link all the animated stuff. All right, so we're at 108 land impact. So I'm going to link all of this stuff that I've selected. And we went to 106. So I linked all of that, and it brought my land impact down by 2. But the other one, when I linked it, went from 146 to 104. So it's really, you can't tell and you can't ever be sure what's going to happen with the overall land impact. It can save tons. It might save a little bit. It might go up one. Who knows? So just know when you're linking objects to save land impact, it could go either way on you. All right. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a copy of this. Let me move this out of the way. So I'm going to hold the shift key and I'm going to click on that arrow. And while I have the shift key down, I'm going to drag. And now it left that behind. And I have a copy of all that decor. So now what I'm going to do is, well, I tell you what. Here, let me delete this one. Let's see if we can take the furniture. Let's delete this set. Okay, let's try this again. I'll click on that. There's my 106 prims, right? I'm going to click on the chair. Click on this chair. Click on the birdhouse. These are the things that aren't linked, but I still want a copy of them. Click on the rug. I'm holding shift. Click on the couch and then shift and click on the bed. Now this should be the entire cabin. Let's see if we can copy the entire cabin. Decor. Hold shift, drag to copy it. I can. Oh, I'm on the original. So it leaves the copy behind and then you're on the original. See that? All the animations are loading. But the cabin is still intact. LOD is down. The cabin is still intact. But I have an entire copy up here. So let's say I want to take this into my inventory. Wait a minute. My guitar looks funny to me. Is that going to work? Where's my flowers? Here's another thing that can go wrong. My flowers look jacked up. I don't know if it's my viewer or if I did something to it. All right, anyway. I'm going to take a copy of this. I'm going to take this into my inventory. And when I do, I'm going to fall off this chair. But I don't want to click on, well, can I click on stand? I don't want to lose all this and have to reselect it. So let's see what happens. We're going to rename it from multiple selection to, I'm just going to call this cabin to DDC. We'll call that. Okay. Then I'm going to take this. I'm going to right click on part of it. And I'm just going to say take. Yep, I stood up. And I fell on top of the cabin. Ah, I stuck the landing. All right, so let's see. Let's look in the inventory. And there it is. Cabin to DDC. So let's say, and see everything's still in here, except for my guitar. I'm probably going to have to redo that because the flowers got jacked. Again, this is stuff that can happen. The other thing I wonder is if my birds still sing. Let's see if my birds still sing. Oh, they do. So it didn't break my little birdies. You hear them? Let me turn them back off. Okay. All right. So let me show you the practical use with this. Let's go back up to this platform. I think I can res it. I think I'm close enough. All right. So let me find the Novani cabin. And I'll show you what I mean about being able to res out decor and have something decorated in like under a minute. Depending on the res. Okay, where's the cabin? Short path platform. Main cabin. So I'm going to res out a cabin. Okay, there's the cabin, right? And then I'm like, okay, I want it to be cabin 2 because I was able to copy everything in that. Unlike the Hideki cabin, we couldn't copy 4 of the objects. So I'm going to open a build box. I'm going to click on the arrow. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to res the cabin 2 DDC that we just took a copy of. I'm going to let go of my mouse. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. I thought this was going to be a short tutorial, but I obviously had a lot to show you, so it's not. Am I going to have to pause it again? Oh, Lord, let me pause it. Okay, here it comes. Now, let me zoom in so you can see it. There it is. Yeah, I broke my little flowers, you guys. Look. Yep, I'm going to have to redo that. Okay. Now, I have not clicked off of it, so it can still all move as one piece, right? So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take this and I'm going to line it up this way. It's a whole nother lesson, lining up with the grid. I didn't line the cabin up, but that's close enough. Okay, now let's move it over here. Let's move it up a little bit because it looks like we need to move it up. And then we're just going to slide this over like that. Obviously, it's too high. So I'm only clicking the arrows, okay? I'm not clicking off. Oops. It's backwards. There's, oh, it's all backwards. So let's turn it around. I'm going to raise it up. I'm going to hold my control key and then rotate it. About right there. And then I'm going to move it down. Right there. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to move it back. So pick one point to line up. Like if I use the birdhouse, I know where the birdhouse needs to go, right? So let's move it this way. Let's move it down. Since it's all still linked, you only have to position one object correctly and the rest of them will automatically be in the right place. That looks like it's a little low. And the other, I know some people don't do this. To move my camera, I use I hold down Control and Alt at the same time and then click around and move with my mouse and my roller ball. So if you start clicking around on stuff to move your camera, let me see if it'll work with these little arrows. The little eyeball with the little arrows. Oh, it still holds it. So you can use your arrows here if you're using Firestorm. I don't know how the other ones work. So I could use this and it still hangs on to it. So that's good. Alright, obviously I'm off because you see how the rug is hanging off the edge. So let's line up these in that corner. It was closer. It's about right there. See my shadow? Actually, I could probably use the shadow to line up. Nope, not going to be able to see. Turn the control key. Turn it a little bit. There we go. Now, this should be, that should be where it goes, right? Or am I too far in? Nope, I'm too far in. You see how the couch is in the wall? So I need to move it over. Okay, I said in 1 minute. I might have exaggerated a little bit because I tend to be a perfectionist about things, so it's going to take me a little longer. There. There. There it is. Let me double check. We're not hanging out the back, are we? Yep. You see my table hanging out the back? That tells me it's not lined up. I should have squared the cabin first, but I didn't. And that's why I'm having issues now. I have a video on using the grid to build in my Let's Learn. Ooh, the lights are coming through. In my Let's Learn. But anyway, so you get the idea, right? Let's move it back this way. I could sit here and fiddle with this like the rest of the night, but I don't need to do that. You get the idea, right? So I'm going to close my build box, and I still have it in here. I can res it out as many times as I want to and decorate as many cabins as I want to exactly the same way. So there you go. It's decorated. So that's how I use, oh, this needs to be raised up. This carpet, it's glitching, which means I have to raise the whole thing. Anyway, you get the point, right? Right. So now I have decorated that whole cabin again. It took me a lot less time than when I decorated it the first time down here because I just took a copy, soft linked it, pulled it in my inventory. I guess I shouldn't stand up here. I don't know. I kind of like standing up here. All right, you guys, that's it for the tutorial. I know that was kind of long, but you can go back and watch different parts and do all that kind of stuff. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I have 2 other videos on soft linking and like packing up. I did a build called Princess Island where I did an island and a house and all the decor, and I packed up the whole thing and showed you from start to finish how I did it. So I'm going to link both of those videos. I've got a short one on soft linking objects, and then I've got the Princess Island where I packed up the entire build. So if you want to go watch those, you can check down in the show notes. The links to the videos are there. But yeah, I think that's it. So if you have any questions, like I said, just put them in the comments and I will answer you. And if I need to do another video on something, I will. Because that's how this one came about. Because people were like, how do you da-da-da-da-da? All right, you guys. I will see you on the next video, whenever that is. Peace out.